here are all the plot lines that Game of Thrones never resolved. Game of Thrones came to its thrilling 8-season conclusion this year, and while the show did tie up many major plot lines like the whole war that decides the fate of the living and the dead, and who will get to sit on that big pointy chair, there were still many, so many other plots that just dropped like yesterday's pizza roll when the credits rolled for the last time.
I don't believe you're mentioned.
And hey, we get it. You want to eat fresh pizza rolls. And look at Lost. Look at Battlestar Galactica. When it's a long-spanning show with a ton of lore and weird mysteries, sometimes, certain storylines need to be sped up or dropped to keep the narrative flowing smoothly. But sometimes it's clear that certain people have just checked out. Look, I'm not naming names, but you know who you are. You know. So we thought it was our duty, nay, our responsibility, to find all of the plot lines dropped by Game of Thrones because, sadly, they'll never be wrapped up in any sort of satisfying way. So in no particular order, here are all the plot lines dropped in Game of Thrones. The Faceless Men. Sure, Arya learned how to steal people's faces here and there, and she used that ability one time to really good effect when she avenged the Red Wedding, but for a group that was set up over seasons and seasons as such a powerful, interesting, dynamic force, they really went out with a whimper. Why was Sam spared by the White Walkers at the Fist of the First Men? They slaughtered everyone else. Why keep Sam alive? We'll never know. The Azure Ahai prophecy. We spent years arguing who could be the prince who was promised, but did it really matter in the end? Honestly, no. This one feels especially heinous, considering it was the topic of many water cooler conversations at many offices all over the world. Also, what was the point of Kinvara the Red Priestess? She just stepped in to help Dany, then straight up disappeared. Where'd she go? Did Gendry have a claim to the Iron Throne as Robert Baratheon's son, or do we just not give a shit about the Baratheons anymore? Also, what did Varys hear in that fire? Merman. Where did Quaithe come from, and what did she want from Daenerys in Qarth? Say that one 5 times fast. Quaithe, Quarth. Nope. The blue-lipped warlocks of Qarth tried to kill Dany after she escaped the House of Undying with that manticore, but did they just give up after that? Sounds like the House of the Untrying, if you ask me. What happened in the Riverlands after Arya killed Walder Frey? Also, how'd Edmure get out of captivity? He cannot have escaped on his own. Have you met Edmure? He sucks. Also, how did Robb and Aaron get so hot? Who put that in there? What happened to the rest of the Faith Militant? Were we supposed to believe that every single one of them just blew up in the Sept of Baelor? No one was just on patrol that day? They're like, church gathering? Count me in. Wouldn't miss an ice cream social for the world. Sounds like an explosive good time. When did Sir Ilan Payne come off of Arya's kill list? What happened to that guy? Cat got his tongue? What did the High Sparrow tell King Tommen that Tommen later told Cersei after promising not to tell anyone? What did Tommen tell? Now these next few are all White Walker related. What did they want exactly? Why do they need babies to turn into White Walkers? What was the significance of the spirals that they and the Children of the Forest were so obsessed with? And with HBO passing on the prequel that focused on the Starks and the White Walkers, who cares? It feels like we'll never know. Why were the White Walkers after the Three-Eyed Raven? Also, what was the point of the Three-Eyed Raven? What was Bran doing during the Battle of Winterfell? Was he just bait? And if he knew what was going to happen, why did he let Theon just straight up die? R.I.P. Theon, you died as you lived. Horribly. Did Jon Snow's lineage even matter in the end? All it did was make Dany trust him less. It turned out that R plus L equaled a whole lot of bullshit. And on that point, why did Rhaegar name 2 of his sons by 2 different women Aegon? I don't know, seems pretty weird even for that f***ed up family. Whatever happened to Doran's army? Remember those folks? Anyway, we wasted a whole season there for a whole lot of nothing, which was a big shame to book readers since Doran's a major political player in the book series. They're just chilling down there in Sandals, Westeros doing literally nothing. Also, is Ilaria Sand still in the dungeons below the Red Keep? Are there still dungeons down there, or is it just a big pile of rubble? And what was the significance of the direwolves at the end of the day? If the direwolves are supposed to be this metaphor for the Stark family originally, did that pan out, or did he just bail on that because they were too expensive to animate? What the hell was going on in Slaver's Bay after Dany left and went to Westeros? Should we just believe that everything ended up okay there with Daario in charge? It's a Daario. I've solved all your political problems, even though they keep changing who plays me. Anyway, what happened to Mira Reed? I mean, she's responsible for Bran surviving, and she gets literally no respect. She's the Rodney Dangerfield of Westeros, but she will never go back to college because it doesn't exist. Why did Sam steal his family's sword? He gave it to Jorah Mormont, who died basically immediately thereafter, and didn't even use the Valyrian steel sword to kill any White Walkers, just whites. How did everyone know that Jon killed Dany since Drogon took her body away to, I don't know, bury her with Jimmy Hoffa's? Did he just walk down and admit what he did? Actually, knowing him, that's probably exactly what he did, because that dude does not have a poker face. So put this one in the solved pile. And finally, what's the punchline of Tyrion's honeycomb and jackass joke? Okay, I know, it's not really a dropped plot line, it's just a bit of narrative tomfoolery, but I gotta know. It's keeping me up at night. And there you have it, folks, all of the dropped plot lines that we could find in Game of Thrones. But what do you think? Were there any others that you can think of? And what dropped plot line do you most want to get payoff to? And based on how pissed off fans were with the final season, is the Game of Thrones franchise in trouble over at HBO?
The decision about what's best for everyone should be left to, well, everyone.
Let's discuss. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy what you saw, why not give us a like and subscribe? And if you want to get notified every time we go live with a new show or drop a new video, feel free to mash that little bell. That way you can be up to date on all the latest theories, news, and rumors in the pop culture world.